The cabin pressure drops. Row 3, seat A, a child screams. Not the bratty kind, the desperate kind. Her fists pound the armrest. Tears flood her cheeks. Passengers twist in their seats, mouths tight, eyes judging. The hum of the engines can't drown her out. Neither can the recycled air or the soft jazz playing overhead. She's 4 years old, maybe 5, and she's breaking apart in first class where silence costs extra. Her mother sits frozen beside her. Designer suit, diamond earrings, red lips pressed into a line so thin it could cut glass. She whispers something sharp, something low. The child doesn't stop. Can't stop. Her tiny hands move, frantic, confused, reaching for words no one understands. Across the aisle, a man in a faded white t-shirt sets down his coffee. His jeans are worn at the knees. His bag is duct-taped to the corner. He doesn't belong here. Not in first class. Not among the Rolex watches and leather briefcases. But he's the only one watching the girl's hands. And when he lifts his own, slow, deliberate, gentle, the entire plane holds its breath. What happens when a stranger speaks the language a mother forgot to learn? The plane hasn't moved yet. Gate C-14, LaGuardia to Charlotte. Flight 2947. Boarding complete. Overhead bins slam shut. Seatbelts clicking. A flight attendant counts heads near the galley. Vivian Cross adjusts her scarf. Silk. Burgundy. It matches the stitching on her blazer. Her nails are short, polished, the color of dried roses. She places her phone face down on the tray table. Screen dark. Notifications off. Control is her religion. Order is her creed. Beside her, Elara squirms. 4 years old. Curls pinned back with a velvet ribbon. A stuffed giraffe clutched her chest. Her mouth opens. A whimper escapes. Vivian's jaw tightens. Not now, sweetheart. Elara's whimper turns into a wail. Passengers glance over. A man in a navy suit 2 rows up sighs loud enough to be a statement. The woman across the aisle pulls out noise-canceling headphones. Vivian's throat tightens. Her hand hovers over Elara's shoulder, but doesn't land. Touch feels like surrender. Please. We talked about this. Elara's hands move. Small fingers forming shapes. Pulling. Twisting. Reaching. Vivian doesn't understand them. She never learned. Too busy, she told herself. Too much on her plate. Elara would adapt. Kids always do. The flight attendant leans down. Smile practiced. Voice soft. Can I get her something? Juice. Crackers. Vivian's voice comes out clipped. She's fine, but she's not. Elara's crying grows louder. Her legs kick the seat in front of her. The businessman turns around, eyes cold. Vivian feels the heat crawl up her neck. She built a billion-dollar company. She stood in boardrooms with men twice her age and made them blink first. But here, 30,000 feet below cruising altitude, she's losing. Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. The cabin feels smaller now. The walls close in. Vivian glances at the window. Tarmac. Baggage carts. A plane lifting off in the distance. Freedom she can't touch. Elara's hands move again. Faster now. Desperate. Vivian sees the motion, but not the meaning. A language she ignored because silence was easier. Because hiring therapists felt like progress. Because learning to speak with her hands meant admitting she'd been speaking the wrong way all along. The engines rumble. The plane jerks forward. Elara screams. And across the aisle, a man in a white t-shirt watches. His coffee sits untouched. His eyes follow the little girl's hands. He doesn't look annoyed. Doesn't look uncomfortable. He looks sad. The kind of sad that knows something. His name is Darius Cole. Factory supervisor. Weekend interpreter. Single father. The kind of man who fixes things quietly and leaves before anyone says thank you. He paid for this ticket with overtime checks. Sat in coach for 12 years until a system glitch bumped him to first class an hour ago. He doesn't belong here. He knows it. Everyone knows it. But right now, he's the only one who sees what Vivian can't. Elara isn't crying. She's screaming in a language her mother refuses to hear. If you've ever felt invisible, keep watching. This stranger is about to do something no one expected. Darius shifts in his seat. The leather creaks under his weight. His knuckles are scarred. Calluses line his palms. He smells like hotel soap and cheap aftershave. The man beside him, tailored suit, gold cufflinks, scoots an inch away. Darius notices. He always does. He picks up his coffee. It's cold now. He drinks it anyway. Eyes still on the girl. Her hands are moving slower. Tired. She's running out of energy. Running out of hope. He's seen it before. In his daughter, Amara, the year her mother died. 7 years old and sobbing in the school hallway because no one understood what she was signing. The teachers tried. They smiled. They nodded. But they didn't speak her language. Darius did. He learned it the hard way. Born with partial hearing loss. Spent his childhood reading lips and faking comprehension. Got laughed at in middle school when he mispronounced comfortable as calm fable. Stopped talking much after that. Started listening with his hands. When Amara was born, he made a promise. She'd never feel unheard. But cancer doesn't care about promises. His wife, Shanice, fought for 2 years. Darius worked double shifts to pay for treatments that didn't work. Came home to find Amara signing, "Mama's sleeping," because she didn't know the word for gone. He swallows hard. The memory sits heavy in his chest. Across the aisle, Alara hiccups. Her sobs turn to gasps. Vivian digs through her purse. Pulls out a tablet. Bright screen. Cartoon colors. She shoves it toward Alara. The universal solution. Distraction as parenting. Alara pushes it away. Vivian's face hardens. Alara. Enough. The girl's hands move again. One last plea. A sign Darius knows by heart. Help. He sets his coffee down. Wipes his palms on his jeans. His heart hammers. He spent his whole life staying small. Staying out of the way. Men like him don't speak up in spaces like this. First class isn't for factory supervisors. It's for people who own factories. But Alara's hands are still moving, and no one else sees them. Darius leans forward, just slightly, catches the little girl's eye. Her tear-streaked face turns toward him. He lifts his right hand. Slow, deliberate, forms a single sign. Hey! Alara freezes. Her mouth opens. No sound comes out. Her eyes, wide brown, swimming with confusion, lock onto his hands. He signs again. You okay? The cabin noise fades. The businessman stops, rustling his newspaper. The flight attendant pauses mid-step. Vivian's head snaps toward Darius. Her eyes narrow. Suspicion first, then shock. Alara's hands twitch. She looks at her mother. Back at Darius. Then, with trembling fingers, she signs back. You understand? Darius smiles. It's small, gentle, the kind of smile that costs nothing and means everything. I sure do. Alara's tears stop, just like that. Her breathing slows. She stares at him like he's the first person who's ever really looked at her. Vivian stares too, but her expression is different. It's the look of someone watching a stranger hand her daughter something she should have given years ago. And just like that, the entire plane shifted. But no one knew the real reason this man understood. The plane levels off. The seatbelt sign blinks off. Passengers unbuckle. Stretch. Reach for their bags. Business as usual, except in row 3. Darius keeps his hands moving. Slow. Patient. He signs bird. Points to the window. A gull dips past the wing. Alara's eyes follow. She signs it back. Her fingers fumble. He corrects gently. She tries again. Gets it right. Her face lights up. Vivian watches in silence. Her champagne sits untouched. Condensation drips down the glass. She should say something. Thank him. Ask how he knows. But the words stick in her throat. Gratitude feels like admitting failure. Darius signs cloud. Alara giggles. The sound is bright. Pure. It cuts through the cabin hum like sunlight through smoke. Other passengers glance over. The businessman's frown softens. The woman with the headphones pulls one ear free. Even a flight attendant smiles. Alara signs window. Points to the glass. Darius nods. Good job. She claps her hands. Vivian's chest tightens. She hasn't seen her daughter this happy in months. Maybe years. The meal cart rolls past. Darius orders water. Alara gets apple juice. She drinks it with both hands, eyes still on him. Vivian orders nothing. Her stomach is too knotted to eat. The flight attendant lingers near Darius's seat. She slips him a napkin. folded twice. He opens it. Blue ink. Neat handwriting. You have a kind heart. Thank you. Seat 3A. He looks up. Vivian's eyes meet his. She doesn't smile, doesn't nod, just holds his gaze for 3 seconds, then looks away. Darius folds the napkin, tucks it in his pocket. He's used to being invisible. This feels strange, heavy, like gratitude with weight. Alara tugs his sleeve, signs more. He teaches her sky, seat, friend. She absorbs each one like she's been starving for them. And maybe she has. Maybe she spent 4 years screaming into a void, waiting for someone to answer in her language. Vivian's hands rest in her lap. Motionless. Useless. She's built AI systems that predict crime patterns. Algorithms that process millions of data points per second. But she can't read her own daughter's hands. The shame burns slow. Quiet. The kind that doesn't show on the surface, but rots everything underneath. She thinks about the therapists, the speech coaches, the private tutors. Thousands of dollars spent trying to fix Alara. Make her normal. Make her fit into Vivian's world instead of meeting her in her own. A memory surfaces. Alara at 3, sitting on the kitchen floor, signing Mama. Over and over. Vivian had smiled, kissed her forehead, then told the nanny to work on her verbal skills. She hadn't understood. Alara wasn't broken. Vivian was just refusing to learn the repair manual. The plane banks left. Charlotte's skyline comes into view. Tall buildings, sprawling suburbs. Darius signs home. Alara repeats it. Her smile is tired now. Content. She leans against her mother's arm. Falls asleep within minutes. Vivian doesn't move. Doesn't want to wake her. She looks at Darius. Opens her mouth. Closes it. Tries again. Thank you. Her voice is barely a whisper. But it's the first honest thing she's said in years. Darius nods. She's a smart kid. I know. Vivian's throat tightens. I didn't. He doesn't make her finish. It's never too late. The wheels touch down. The plane shudders. Passengers applaud. Alara stirs but doesn't wake. Vivian strokes her hair. Soft curls under her palm. She's touched her daughter 1,000 times. But this time, it feels different. This time, she's paying attention. In 30 seconds, a stranger gave her daughter what 4 years of therapy couldn't. But the real lesson was still coming. The terminal is loud. Rolling suitcases. Crying babies. Gate announcements echoing off tile floors. Darius slings his bag over his shoulder. Waits for the aisle to clear. He doesn't rush. Never does. Vivian unbuckles Alara. The girl yawns. Rubs her eyes. Signs tired. Vivian freezes. She doesn't know how to respond. So, she just nods. It feels inadequate. They shuffle toward the exit. Single file. Slow. Darius ends up 2 people behind them. Close enough to see Alara's hand slip into her mother's. Vivian squeezes back. It's small, but it's something. At the gate, Vivian stops. Turns around. Scans the crowd. Finds Darius. He's adjusting his bag strap. About to disappear into the sea of travelers. Wait. He stops. Looks back. She walks toward him. Alara on her hip. The girl waves. Darius waves back. Vivian clears her throat. You're good with her. She's easy to talk to. I don't. She pauses. Recalculates. Do you teach? I could hire you. Private sessions. Name your price. Darius's expression doesn't change. But something flickers behind his eyes. Not offense. Not quite pity. Something in between. No need, ma'am. I can pay well. Very well. I'm sure you can. He shifts his weight. But money's not what she needs. Vivian's jaw tightens. Then what does she need? Darius meets her eyes. His voice is quiet. Firm. Time. In her language. That's all. Silence stretches between them. Around them, the terminal keeps moving. But they're standing still. I don't know it, Vivian admits. The words taste like failure. Then learn. It sounds simple, like advice from a self-help book. But the way he says it, no judgment, no condescension, makes it feel possible. Maybe even necessary. I don't have time to... You have time for this. He gestures vaguely. At her phone, her designer luggage. The life she built on the back of 16-hour days. Then you have time for her. Vivian's mouth opens. No words come out. She's used to having the last word, the final say, the upper hand. But this man, this stranger in a faded t-shirt, just disarmed her with the truth. Darius picks up his bag. Good luck, ma'am. He turns to leave. Alara signs by. He signs it back. Then he's gone, swallowed by the crowd. Vivian stands there, frozen. Alara tugs her sleeve. Sign something. Vivian doesn't understand, so she does what she always does. Smiles, nods, pretends. But this time it feels different. This time it feels like lying. She thought the conversation was over. But 20 feet away, something was about to shatter everything she believed about fairness. Darius heads for the exit. Sliding doors. Rental car shuttles. Freedom 10 yards away. Sir. Random screening. He stops. Turns. 2 security officers. One older. Graying beard. The other younger. Crew cut. Both have hands near their belts. Darius's stomach drops. He's been here before. Different airport. Same script. Already went through security, he says. Voice calm. Even. Secondary screening. The younger one says. Procedure. Random. Darius asks. That's what I said. Darius glances around. A dozen people just walk past. White. Well-dressed. No one stopped them. He looks down at himself. Jeans. T-shirt. Duke to Pilbake. He knows how this math works. All right. He sets his bag down. The older officer unzips it. Pulls out clothes. A book. A phone charger. Treats each item like evidence. Where you coming from? New York. What was your business there? Conference. What kind? Factory safety training. The younger officer smirks. You work in a factory? I supervise one. Supervisor, huh? The tone says he doesn't believe it. Darius's jaw tightens. He doesn't respond. Learned a long time ago that talking back only makes things worse. The older officer finds a small toolkit. Opens it. Screwdrivers. Pliers. TSA approved. He holds it up anyway. What's this for? My hearing aids. Darius taps his ear. Batteries des omitimes. I fixed them myself. The younger officer leans in. You deaf? Partially. Convenient. Darius's chest tightens. Excuse me? Now you can't hear me. Convenient. A few passengers slow down. Watch. One pulls out a phone. The older officer notices. Waves them on. They keep moving. No one stops. Darius signs out of instinct. I can hear you. Frustrated. Automatic. The younger officer laughs. Oh, now you're doing sign language? What, you think that makes this easier? Darius's hands drop. He feels the heat crawl up his neck. Not anger. Shame. The kind that comes from being reduced to something less than human in public. Sir, I'm not trying to... Hands where I can see them. Darius raises them slowly. Palms out. Surrender position. He's done this before, too. Muscle memory. 20 feet away, Vivian stops. Alara's hand in hers. She sees the officers. The bag on the floor. Darius with his hands up. Her breath catches. Alara tugs her sleeve. Sign something. Vivian looks down. The little girl's face is tight. Worried. She signs again. Slower. Vivian doesn't understand. But she doesn't need to. She sees the fear in her daughter's eyes. The same fear she saw on the plane. And suddenly the equations shift. The variables change. This isn't about strangers anymore. This is about the man who heard her daughter when no one else would. The younger officer zips Darius's bag. Shoves it toward him. You're clear. For now. Darius picks it up. Doesn't say a word. Starts walking. Vivian's feet move before her brain catches up. She strides toward the officers. Heels clicking on tile. Voice sharp. Commanding. The voice that ends arguments and starts deals. Excuse me. Both officers turn. Their expressions shift. Recognition. Not of her face. Of her tax bracket. That man is with me. The older officer blinks. Mom. He's a contractor. Under my company. You just delayed an executive travel schedule. The younger one stutters. We were just what? Randomly screening the only black man in a white t-shirt. Her voice cuts like ice. I have lawyers on retainer who specialize in discrimination cases. Should I make a call? Silence. The officers exchange looks. The older one clears his throat. That won't be necessary. Good. Vivian doesn't blink. Doesn't flinch. Then I suggest you find someone else to harass. They walk away. Quick, quiet, tails between their legs. Vivian turns. Darius is standing there, bag in hand, eyes wide, confused. You didn't have to. I did. Her voice is softer now, but still firm. Because I should have done it a long time ago. For people like you. She looks down at Alara. The little girl is signing something. Over and over. Darius translates. She says, he's scared. Help him. Vivian's throat tightens. Her daughter saw what she almost ignored. Felt what she almost walked past. Thank you, Darius says quietly. Vivian shakes her head. Don't. I'm the one who should be thanking you. She kneels down. Eye level with Alara. Signs something clumsy. Broken. Wrong syntax. But the meaning is clear. I'm sorry. Alara's eyes fill. She wraps her arms around her mother's neck. Vivian holds her. Tight. The kind of hug that says everything words can't. When she stands, Darius is smiling. Small. Sad. Proud. She's lucky to have you, he says. No. Vivian's voice cracks. I'm lucky to have her. Darius nods. Adjusts his bag. Good luck, ma'am. This time, when he walks away, Vivian doesn't stop him. But something inside her has already shifted. She thought she knew what power was. But she was about to learn the difference between having a voice and actually using it. And what happened next would change everything. Vivian's hand shakes as she swipes her phone screen. The Uber pulls up. Black SUV. Tinted windows. Driver doesn't make eye contact. She buckles Alara in. Slides in beside her. The door shuts with a heavy click. Silence. Alara signs something. Vivian stares at the moving hands. Shapes without meaning. She pulls out her phone. Types. Sign language class is near me. Hits search. 43 results. She scrolls. Stops at one. Beginner ASL. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. She screenshots it. The car merges onto the highway. City lights blur past. Alara leans against the window. Her breath fogs the glass. She draws a smiley face with her finger. It fades. She draws another. Vivian watches. Her chest feels tight, like something's been lodged there for years and just now started moving. Her phone buzzes. Email. Subject. Board meeting rescheduled. Friday 9 a.m. She swipes it away. Opens her contacts. Scrolls to Marcus, executive assistant. Hits call. 2 rings. Ms. Cross. Everything all right? I need you to clear my schedule. Pause. For when? Tuesday and Thursday evenings. 6 to 8. Starting this week. That's the investor dinner series. They've been booked for. Cancel them. Another pause. Longer this time. May I ask what for? Vivian looks at Alara. The little girl is still drawing on the window. Lost in her own world. A world Vivian's been locked out of. Personal development, she says finally. Marcus doesn't push. Consider it done. She hangs up. Stares at the screenshot. Biji nir az. The words feel heavy. Like admitting she's been failing a test she didn't know she was taking. The car pulls into her driveway. Gated community. Manicured lawns. Houses that cost more than most people make in a lifetime. She pays the driver. Tips heavy. Guilt money. Inside, the house is cold. Modern. All glass and marble. Alara runs to her room. Comes back with her giraffe. Signs something. Vivian smiles. Nods. Pretends. But this time, the pretending hurts. She kneels down. Eye level. Signs the only thing she remembers from the airport. I'm sorry. The syntax is wrong. The hand shapes off. But Alara understands. She always does. The little girl hugs her. Tight. Vivian's eyes burn. She doesn't cry. She never cries. But she holds her daughter like she's afraid she'll disappear. That night, Vivian lies awake. Ceiling fans spinning. Sheets tangled. Her mind replays the airport. The officers. Darius's hands in the air. The look on his face. Not anger. Resignation. Like he'd been there before. Like he expected it. She thinks about her company. Cross-global tech AI for law enforcement. Bias detection algorithms. She sold them to 43 cities. Promised fairness. Transparency. Justice. But justice doesn't live in code. It lives in moments. In choices. In the space between seeing something wrong and deciding to act. She pulls out her laptop. Opens a new document. Types. Interpreter Fund Initiative draft proposal. Her fingers move fast. Muscle memory. This is what she does. Builds things. Fixes problems. Makes systems work. But this time it's personal. She writes until 3 a.m. Budget projections. Partnership outreach. School district contacts. A plan to fund sign language interpreters in underfunded schools across the state. Maybe the country. When she finally closes the laptop, the sky's starting to lighten. She hasn't felt this awake in years. She thought stepping in at the airport was the end. But it was just the beginning of a question she couldn't ignore. How many people had she walked past before? The alarm doesn't go off. Vivian wakes to sunlight streaming through the blinds. 9:47 morgens. She hasn't slept past 7 in a decade. Alara's already awake, sitting on the floor, playing with blocks. She looks up when Vivian enters. Signs good morning. Vivian's hands stay still. Useless. She makes breakfast. Scrambled eggs. Toast. Orange juice. They eat in silence. Not the comfortable kind. The kind where one person's talking and the other can't hear. After breakfast, Vivian calls Marcus again. Set up a foundation. Separate from the company. I want it operational by next month. What's the focus? Accessibility. Specifically sign language education and interpreter funding. How much are we allocating? $5 million to start. Marcus's breath catches. That's significant. It's overdue. She hangs up, opens her email, drafts a message to her board. Subject: New initiative, board approval required. She outlines the foundation, the mission, the funding. Hit send before she can second-guess it. Her phone rings within minutes. It's Gerald. Board chairman. Voice like gravel. Vivian. What's this about? Exactly what it says. $5 million? For interpreters? Yes. This isn't our lane. We do tech. Law enforcement tech. We do justice, she corrects. Or, at least we claim to. Silence. What happened, he asks. She thinks about the plane. The airport. Darius's face. Alara's hands. I saw a gap, she says. I'm filling it. Gerald sighs. The board going to push back. Let them. She hangs up. Her heart's pounding. Not from fear. From something else. Something that feels like purpose. That evening, she drives to the community center. 3rd floor. Room 308. A sign on the door. ASL Basics. All welcome. She hesitates. Hand on the doorknob. She's walked into boardrooms with hostile investors. Negotiated million-dollar deals. But this feels harder. She opens the door. 12 people. Folding chairs in a circle. A woman at the front. Older. Kind eyes. Hands moving in slow, deliberate patterns. Vivian slips into a seat near the back. The woman notices. Smiles. Signs welcome. Vivian doesn't know how to respond. So she just nods. The lesson starts. The alphabet. Simple signs. Hello. Thank you. Please. Vivian's hands fumble. Her fingers don't bend the right way. She messes up thank you 3 times. The woman corrects her gently. No judgment. Just patience. By the end of the hour, Vivian's learned 10 signs. It's not much, but it's more than she knew yesterday. She drives home. Finds Alara in bed. The little girl's eyes are half closed. Vivian sits beside her. Signs goodnight. It's clumsy. Wrong hand shape. But Alara's face lights up. She signs it back, then signs something else. Vivian doesn't understand, but she pulls out her phone, opens a translation app, films Alara's hands. The app reads, I love you, Mama. Vivian's throat closes. She sets the phone down, signs the only response she knows. I love you too. It's broken. Imperfect, but it's real. Alara falls asleep smiling. Vivian sits there, watching her breathe, and for the first time in years, she feels like she's actually home. She thought learning a few signs would be enough. But language isn't just words. It's connection, and connection changes everything, including what happens next. 3 months pass. Vivian's office looks different now. The awards are still there. The glass desk, the view of the skyline. But on the corner of her desk sits a framed photo. Alara at the park, hands signing happy. It's crooked, off-center. Vivian doesn't fix it. The board approved the foundation. Barely. 3 votes in favor. 2 against. 1 abstention. But it passed. The Interpreter Access Initiative launches next week. 12 school districts. 40 interpreters hired. Vivian's been in meetings every day. Budget reviews. Partnership calls. Press releases. But every Tuesday and Thursday, she leaves at 5:30. No exceptions. Marcus asked once, "What if there's an emergency?" "Then it waits," she said. He never asked again. The ASL classes are harder than she expected. Her hands cramp. Her brain struggles to switch from English grammar to ASL syntax. She messes up constantly, but she keeps going, because every Friday, she comes home and signs something new to Alara. And every Friday, Alara's smile gets a little wider. Tonight, they're at the community center. Not for class, for an event. Deaf community celebration. Music, visual, through lights and vibrations. Food, kids running around. Laughter in hands instead of voices. Alara's in the corner, playing with 3 other kids. Their hands move fast. Fluid. Vivian watches. She catches maybe 1 word in 10, but she sees her daughter's joy. Clear. Unfiltered. Real. A woman approaches. Older. Gray locks. Warm smile. She signs something. Vivian's brain scrambles. She catches nice and daughter. She signs back. Thank you. Gets the hand shape right this time. The woman switches to voice. She's happy here. I can see that. You're new to signing? Vivian nods. 3 months. You're doing well. Most parents don't try. The words sting. Because Vivian knows she was almost one of them. Almost stayed in her bubble. Almost let her daughter grow up unheard. I'm learning, Vivian says. We all are. The woman walks away. Vivian stands there, watching her daughter play. Watching a world she'd ignored for 4 years finally open up. Her phone buzzes. Text from Marcus. Forbes wants an interview about the foundation. You available tomorrow? She types back, after 3. I have something at noon. He doesn't ask what. At noon the next day, Vivian picks up Alara from preschool. They drive to the park. Spread a blanket under a tree. Vivian pulls out a book. A children's book. Pictures and simple words. But this time, she doesn't read aloud. She signs. Alara watches. Corrects her twice. Laughs when Vivian mixes up tree and 3. They go through 5 pages. It takes 20 minutes. Normally, Vivian would have read the whole book in 5. But she's not in a hurry anymore. When they finish, Alara signs again. Vivian smiles. Signs later. Alara pouts. But she's grinning. They lie on the blanket. Watch clouds drift past. Vivian signs cloud. Alara signs bird. They go back and forth, naming things, building a shared language. 1 sign at a time. Vivian's phone stays in her bag. Silent. Ignored. For the first time in years, she's present. Not planning the next move. Not strategizing the next deal. Just here, with her daughter, in the moment. And it feels like winning. She thought changing herself would be the hardest part. But the universe had one more test. And it came in the form of a familiar face in an unexpected place. The leaves are turning. October. Crisp air. Golden light slanting through branches. Vivian and Alara walk through the park. Alara chases a squirrel. Signs fast. Vivian signs back very fast. They round a corner. Near the playground, a group of kids sits in a semicircle. An adult at the center. Hands moving. Teaching. Vivian stops. It's him, Darius. He's wearing the same faded jeans. Different t-shirt. Navy blue this time. His hands move with the same patience. The same gentleness. A little girl, maybe 6, copies his signs. Gets it wrong. He corrects with a smile. She tries again. Nails it. He gives her a thumbs up. Alara sees him. Her face lights up. She runs. Vivian follows. Alara wait. But the girl's already there, tugging Darius's sleeve. He looks down. His eyes widen. Recognition. Surprise. Then warmth. He signs, hey, I remember you. Alara signs back. Fussed. Excited. Vivian catches half of it. Something about plane and friend. Darius laughs. Signs to the other kids. Give me a minute. They scatter to the swings. He stands. Looks at Vivian. Ms. Cross. Darius. She pauses. I didn't know you taught here. Volunteer. Weekends. Kids whose schools can't afford interpreters. She nods. Of course he does. Of course this man who helped her daughter for nothing now spends his free time helping others. I took your advice, she says. I can see that. He glances at Alara. She's different. Happy. She is. Vivian's throat tightens. Because of you. He shakes his head. No. Because of you. You did the work. You started it. Maybe. He shrugs. But you finished it. Alara signs something. Darius translates. She wants to know if I'll teach her something new. Can you? Vivian asks. Always. He kneels down. Signs brave. Alara copies. Gets it right the first time. He signs strong. She copies. He signs loved. She copies. Then she throws her arms around him. He hugs back. Gentle. Brief. The kind of hug that says I see you. When he stands, Vivian's eyes are wet. She blinks fast. Clears her throat. I started a foundation, she says. Funding interpreters. For schools that need them. His eyebrows raise. Yeah. 12 districts so far. We're expanding. He doesn't say anything. Just looks at her. Really looks. Like he's seeing past the suit and the polish to the person underneath. That's good, he says finally. Really good. It's because of you. That day at the airport. I saw, she stops. Breathes. I saw what I'd been ignoring. For years. We all ignore things, he says, until we can't anymore. A breeze kicks up. Leaves swirl around their feet. Alara chases one. The other kids drift back. One tugs Darius's hand. He signs 1 more minute. I should let you get back, Vivian says. Yeah. He hesitates. But hey, if you ever need help with the foundation, outreach, community connections, let me know. She pulls out her phone. Can I get your number? He rattles it off. She saves it. Darius, the man who changed everything. He doesn't see the contact name. Probably better that way. Thank you, she says. For everything. You already thanked me. At the airport. I know, but I'll probably keep thanking you. For a long time. He smiles. I can live with that. Alara runs back. Signs by. Darius signs it back. Vivian takes her daughter's hand. They walk toward the parking lot. Halfway there, Vivian looks back. Darius is surrounded by kids again. Hands moving. Patient. Kind. Teaching a language most of the world ignores. But not anymore. Not if Vivian has anything to say about it. She thought the story ended there. But the best stories don't end. They echo. And what came next would prove that one small act of kindness can ripple further than anyone imagines. 2 years later, Vivian stands on a stage. Convention center. 1,200 people in the audience. The banner behind her reads, National Accessibility Summit, Keynote Speaker, Vivian Cross, CEO, Cross Global Tech. She's wearing a red blazer, the same color she wore on the plane. But everything else is different. She doesn't start with slides, or statistics, or corporate jargon. She starts with a story. 2 years ago, she says, my daughter cried on a plane. I didn't know why. The room goes quiet. I thought I was a good mother. Successful. Driven. I gave her everything money could buy. Everything except the one thing she needed. She pauses. Signs as she speaks. Understanding. A stranger taught me that. A man I almost ignored. A man who saw my daughter when I couldn't. Because I was too busy. Too proud. Too afraid to admit I was failing. She clicks to the next slide. A photo. Alara at 6. Smiling. Hand signing I love you. This is my daughter. Alara. She's deaf. And she's the reason I'm here. She walks them through the foundation. The numbers. 43 school districts now. 200 interpreters employed. Thousands of kids reached. But she doesn't linger on the data. She goes back to the story. The man who helped her that day, his name is Darius Cole. He's in the audience tonight. Spotlight swings. Finds him. 3rd row. Same jeans. Same quiet presence. He looks uncomfortable. But he waves. The crowd applauds. Darius didn't ask for recognition. He just acted. With kindness. With patience. With the kind of humanity we claim to value but rarely practice. She steps closer to the edge of the stage. He taught me something that day. Not sign language. Not yet. He taught me to listen. Really listen. Not with my ears. With my heart. Her voice cracks. She doesn't hide it. I built a billion-dollar company on the promise of justice. But I didn't understand justice until I watched a man get stopped at an airport for looking different. for existing in a space people thought he didn't belong. The room is silent, not awkward, reverent. So I made a choice to use my voice, my privilege, my power, not for profit, but for people, for kids like my daughter, for men like Darius, for everyone who's been ignored because the world didn't bother to learn their language. She signs as she speaks the last line. We all deserve to be heard. The applause starts slow, then builds, then erupts. People stand. Darius stays seated, but he's smiling, the kind of smile that doesn't need words. After the speech, Vivian finds him in the lobby. He's holding a cup of coffee, looking out the window. You didn't tell me you were going to call me out, he says. Would you have come if I did? Probably not. She laughs. That's why I didn't tell you. They stand in comfortable silence, watching people stream past. Conversations in a dozen languages. Some spoken, some signed. You did good, he says finally. Really good. We did good, she corrects. He doesn't argue. Alara runs up. She's been at the kids' activity room, face painted like a butterfly. She signs something. Fussed. Excited. Vivian catches most of it. Can we get ice cream? Vivian looks at Darius. You busy? He grins. I could eat. They walk out together. Three people who met by chance. Connected by crisis. Bound by a language that doesn't need sound. Outside, the city hums. Cars. Voices. Life moving forward. But for a moment, they're still. Present. Grateful. Because sometimes the richest people are the poorest in empathy, until someone humble teaches them to listen. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness becomes the loudest call to action. Vivian looks at her daughter, at Darius, at the life she almost missed because she was too busy to see it. Thank you, she signs. Darius signs back. No, thank you. But really, the gratitude belongs to all of them. For showing up, for trying, for choosing connection over comfort. The screen fades, but the story doesn't end. Because somewhere, right now, another child is crying. Another stranger is watching. Another person is deciding whether to act or look away. And maybe, just maybe, they'll remember this story and choose kindness. The ice cream shop is small, local. The kind with handwritten flavor names on a chalkboard. Alara presses her face against the glass display. Points to mint chocolate chip. Signs please 3 times. Vivian orders. 2 scoops for Alara. Single for herself. Darius gets black coffee. Not an ice cream guy, he explains. They sit outside. Metal table. Uneven chairs. Alara devours her cone. Green streaks on her chin. Vivian wipes them away. Patient. Present. Noticing. A woman walks past. Stops. Double takes. Excuse me. Are you Vivian Cross? Vivian tenses. She's used to being recognized, but it still feels intrusive. I am. The woman's eyes fill. My son. He's 8. Deaf. Your foundation funded an interpreter for his school. He's thriving now. For the first time. Vivian stands. What's his name? Marcus. He loves dinosaurs. And math. And finally, he has someone who can help him learn. Vivian's throat tightens. She thinks about all the Marcuses, all the Alaris, all the kids screaming in languages no one bothered to learn. I'm glad we could help, she says. The woman reaches out, squeezes Vivian's hand. You saved his life. You know that, right? You saved it. She walks away before Vivian can respond, before the tears can fall. Darius doesn't say anything, just sips his coffee, gives her space to feel it. Alara signs something. Vivian translates aloud, still learning. Why is Mama sad? Not sad, baby. Happy. Alara looks confused. Signs again. Happy looks different. Vivian laughs. Vet. Broken. Real. Sometimes they look the same. She pulls out her phone, scrolls to her photos, finds one from 2 years ago. The plane. She'd snapped it without thinking. View from the window. Clouds. Sky. The moment before everything changed. She shows Darius. I took this right before Alara started crying. He looks at it. Nods. Funny how one moment can split your whole life. Before and after. You have those. Before and after moments. His face shifts. Distant. Remembering. Yeah. The day my wife died. The day I decided to learn ASL instead of forcing my daughter to read lips. The day I got bumped to first class and met a little girl who needed help. Do you ever regret it? The hard moments. He thinks. Really thinks. No, because the hard moments made the good ones matter. Made me matter. Vivian absorbs that. Turns it over in her mind. She spent years avoiding hard moments. Outsourcing them. Delegating them. Building walls so high nothing could touch her. But walls keep everything out. Including love. Alara tugs her sleeve. Signs more. Points at Darius. Vivian understands. She wants him to teach her something new. Darius sets down his coffee. Signs dream. Alara copies. He signs future. She copies. He signs possible. She gets it right. First try. Then he strings them together. Your dreams are possible. Alara's eyes go wide. She signs it back. Slow. Deliberate. Vivian watches. Her chest aches. Not from pain. From expansion. Like her heart's been too small for years and finally has room to grow. She's something special, Darius says. She is. Vivian pauses. But she's not the only one. Darius raises an eyebrow. I've been thinking, Vivian continues. The foundation needs a community outreach director. Someone who knows the deaf community. Who's trusted. Who actually cares. Sounds like a good role. It is. 6-figure salary. Benefits. Flexible schedule. You'd work with schools. Train staff. Build partnerships. Darius goes still. You're offering me a job. I'm offering you a platform. To do what you already do. But bigger. With resources. He looks down at his coffee. At his worn jeans. At the duct tape still holding his bag together. I'm not a corporate guy, he says. Good. We have enough of those. I need someone real. Vivian. You changed my life, Darius. And my daughter's. And now you're changing hundreds of other lives every weekend for free. Imagine what you could do full-time. With funding. With support. He's quiet. Thinking. Vivian knows better than to push. She's learned patience. Finally, Alara signs something. Darius translates without thinking. She says you should say yes. He laughs. Rubs his face. Out of the mouths of babes. She's smart, Vivian says. Smarter than both of us. That's true. More silence. A car passes. Honks. Life keeps moving. Okay. Darius says finally. Okay. Okay. I'll do it. Vivian's face breaks into a smile. Real. Unguarded. The kind she doesn't wear in boardrooms. Yeah. Yeah. But I have conditions. Name them. I don't wear suits. I don't do corporate speak. And if something matters to the community, we do it. Even if it's not profitable. Deal. They shake hands. Alara claps. Signs happy. And for once, everyone agrees on what that looks like. The sun's setting now. Orange light painting the sidewalk. Vivian checks her phone. 7 missed calls. 12 emails. She swipes them away. They can wait. I should get her home, she says. School tomorrow. Darius stands. I'll walk you to your car. They walk slowly. No ruse. Alara skips ahead. Chases a leaf. Signs wind. Vivian signs it back. Getting better. Still imperfect, but better. At the car, Darius kneels down. I level with Alara. Sign something long. Thoughtful. Vivian catches words. Strong. Brave. Loved. Always. Alara hugs him. Tight. The kind of hug that says thank you in every language. When she lets go, Darius stands. Looks at Vivian. See you Monday? See you Monday. He walks away. Hands in pockets. Shoulders relaxed. A man who just said yes to something bigger than himself. Vivian buckles Alara in. Slides into the driver's seat. Starts the engine. But before she pulls out, she sits. Just sits. Breathing. Feeling. Being. 2 years ago, she would have called this wasted time. Now she calls it living. She thought hiring Darius was the final piece. But the universe had one more surprise, and it came in the form of an unexpected letter that would change everything again. 6 months later, Vivian's office has changed again. The glass desk is still there, but now there are photos. Alara at the beach. Alara at the deaf community picnic. Alara and Darius teaching signs to a classroom of kids. And one more. Frame on the wall. Certificate. Presidential Award for Community Innovation. The Interpreter Access Initiative. Recognized for impact. For change, for giving voice to the voiceless. Vivian barely glanced at it after the ceremony. Accolades used to fuel her. Now they just feel like receipts for work that speaks for itself. Her assistant knocks. Package for you. Hand delivered. Leave it on the desk. She finishes her email. Budget approval for 3 new districts. Signs off. Closes the laptop. Only then does she look at the package. Small. Brown paper. No return address. Just her name in careful handwriting. She opens it. Inside, a letter. Folded once. And a photo. Old. Faded. A young Darius. Maybe 19. In a factory uniform. Standing beside a woman. Beautiful. Smiling. Her hands mid-sign. Vivian's breath catches. She knows that woman. From Darius's stories. Shanice. His late wife. She reads the letter. Ms. Cross. You don't know me. But you knew my husband. Darius Cole. I'm his daughter, Amara. I'm 14 now. Dad talks about you and Alara all the time. About the plane. The airport. The foundation. I wanted you to know something. Something Dad would never tell you himself. When Mom died, Dad fell apart. Worked himself half to death trying to pay the medical bills. Stopped sleeping. Stopped eating. Stopped being Dad. I was 7. I didn't know how to help him. How to reach him. One day, he came home and said he met a little girl on a plane. Said she reminded him why he learned to sign. Why he keeps going. He said watching her mother learn, really learn, gave him hope. That change is possible. That people can grow. After that, he started volunteering again. Started smiling again. Started being my dad again. You gave him that. You and Alara. So I wanted to say thank you. Not just for the job. Not just for the foundation. But for reminding him that kindness matters. That he matters. The photo is from their wedding. Mom's signing forever. I thought you should have it. Because what you're building, it's forever too. Thank you for seeing my dad. Really seeing him. Amara. Vivian reads it twice. 3 times. Her hands shake. She sets the letter down. Picks up the photo. Studies Shanice's hands. The sign for forever. Fingers linked. Unbreakable. Forever. She thinks about the plane. The screaming. The fear. The shame. She thinks about Darius's hands lifting. The first person to meet her daughter where she was. Not where Vivian wanted her to be. She thinks about the airport. The officers. The choice to speak up or walk away. How easy it would have been to stay silent. To protect her own comfort. Her own peace. But she didn't. And because she didn't, everything changed. Not just for her. Not just for Alara. For Darius too. For Amara. For thousands of kids she'll never meet. Ripples in water. Endless. Expanding. Her phone rings. Darius. Hey, she answers. Hey, you get a package today? I did. Silence. Then, quietly. I didn't know she was going to send that. I'm glad she did. More silence. She hears him breathing. Thinking. Choosing his words. Amara's right. He says finally. You did save me. That day. Not just at the airport. On the plane. Watching you try. Watching you fail and try again. It reminded me why any of this matters. Vivian's throat closes. You saved us first. Maybe we saved each other. Maybe. She looks at the photo again. Forever. A promise that outlives the person who made it. A legacy that ripples beyond a single life. I'm framing this, she says, putting in a conference room. So everyone who works here remembers why we do this. Shanice would have liked that. She always said access isn't charity. It's dignity. She was right. They talked for a few more minutes. Work stuff. Foundation updates. New districts. Budget proposals. Normal things. Boring things. Beautiful things. When she hangs up, Vivian sits back in her chair. Looks out the window. The city sprawls below. Millions of people. Millions of stories. Some heard. Some ignored. Some waiting for someone to stop and listen. She thinks about the woman at the ice cream shop. Marcus. The dinosaur-loving kid who finally had an interpreter. How many more are out there? How many more need someone to fight for them? Not enough people will. That's the truth. Most will walk past. Too busy. Too scared. Too comfortable in their ignorance. But some won't. Some will stop. Will learn. Will change. And that's enough. That has to be enough. Her door opens. Alara runs in. She's 8 now. Taller. Confident. fluent in 2 languages, ASL and SAS. She signed something. Fast. Vivian catches it all now. No translation app needed. Can we go to the park? Darius is teaching new signs. Vivian checks her calendar. Conference call in 30 minutes. Investor meeting at 4. The old Vivian would have said no. Would have sent Alara with the nanny. Would have prioritized profit over presence. But she's not that person anymore. She closes her laptop. Signs back. Let's go. Alara squeals. Grabs her hand. Pulls her toward the door. Vivian follows. Leaves her phone on the desk. Notifications piling up. Unread. Unanswered. They can wait. At the park, Darius is surrounded by kids. 20 of them now. The program's grown. Every weekend. Every season. Teaching. Connecting. Building a world where no child has to scream to be heard. He sees them coming. Waves. Alara runs ahead. Joins the circle. Hands moving. Laughing. Free. Vivian hangs back. Watching. Not from distance. From gratitude. From awe at what one moment, one choice can build. A woman approaches. Older. Deaf. She signs slowly. Deliberately. You're Vivian Cross? Yes. Thank you. My grandson is in your program. He's happy now. Vivian signs back. Still imperfect. Still learning. But good enough. I'm happy he's happy. The woman smiles. Squeezes her hand. Walks away. These moments happen weekly now. Monthly. Daily. Strangers thanking her for something that should have always existed. For filling gaps that should have never been there. But they were there. And someone had to fill them. Darius finishes his lesson. The kids scattered to play. He walks over. Stands beside her. Watching Alara chase butterflies with 3 other kids. Hands flying. Conversations without sound. You ever think about that plane? He asks. Every day. Me too. Do you regret it? Getting involved? He looks at her. Really looks. Do you? No. Best mistake I never meant to make. He laughs. Same. They stand in comfortable silence. 2 people who started as strangers. Became allies. Then friends. Then something harder to name. Co-conspirators in a quiet revolution. Builders of bridges no one asked for, but everyone needed. Alara runs over. Signs something. Darius translates for fun, even though Vivian understands. She wants to know if she can have a sleepover at Amara's this weekend. Vivian signs to Alara. If Darius says yes. Darius signs back. Amara already asked. I already said yes. Alara cheers. Hugs them both. Runs back to her friends. You're a good dad, Vivian says. You're a good mom, Darius replies. I'm a better mom than I was. That's all any of us can do. Be better than we were yesterday. The sun starts to set. Golden hour. Light painting everything soft. Warm. Forgiving. Vivian pulls out her phone. Takes a photo. The park. The kids. The hands moving in language and laughter. She posts it. No caption needed. Just the image. Just the truth. Within minutes, comments flood in. Hearts. Prayers. Stories. Thank yous. People sharing their own journeys. Their own moments of choosing to learn. To listen. To change. One comment catches her eye. I saw your keynote speech. Started learning ASL last month. My neighbor is deaf. We've lived next door for 5 years. Yesterday, I signed good morning to her for the first time. She cried. So did I. Thank you for showing me it's never too late. Vivian reads it twice. Saves it. Adds it to a folder she keeps. Reminders. Of why this matters. Of why she can't stop. Won't stop. Come on, Darius says. Let's go get dinner. My treat. You sure? I can. I know you can. But let me. She doesn't argue. They gather the kids. Walk to the diner down the street. Cheap. Loud. Perfect. They sit in a booth. Alara and Amara on one side. Vivian and Darius on the other. The girls sign to each other. Giggling. Plotting. Being kids. Vivian watches them. Thinks about how close she came to missing this. All of this. How one plane ride, one breakdown, one stranger's kindness changed the trajectory of her entire life. Hey, Darius says softly. Where'd you go? Just thinking about how different things could have been. But they're not. No, they're not. He raises his water glass. To things not being different. She raises hers. To strangers who become family. They clink glasses, drink, smile, and somewhere in another city, on another plane, another child is crying. Another mother is overwhelmed. Another stranger is deciding whether to help or look away. Maybe they'll walk past. Maybe they'll stay silent. Maybe the moment will end with nothing changed. Or maybe, just maybe, they'll remember this story. They'll lift their hands, offer their presence, choose connection over comfort, and the ripples will continue. Because that's how change happens. Not in grand gestures, but in small moments. In ordinary people making extraordinary choices. In strangers who see each other, really see each other, and decide that understanding matters more than convenience. Vivian looks at her daughter, at Darius, at Amara, at this makeshift family built from crisis and kindness. She signs something. To all of them. Thank you. They sign back. Together. In unison. Thank you. And in that moment, in that language, in that love, everything is enough. The story ends here, but the impact never does. The end.